So we're going to talk about game spaces.
Yes.
And gameplay in those game spaces. What's a game space?
In Dreamfall Chapters, a game space is an area where the player can explore at his or her own pace.
At leisure?
Yes. I mean, we think it's incredibly important that the player is able or is allowed to explore the game at his or her own pace and not having that stressful feeling of always have to like reach the next checkpoint.
There's no timer that counts down and says you have to progress in the story.
No, and I think that the player should be allowed to do that sort of exploration if they want to. We keep saying that we should reward curiosity, and I think that's I like that expression.
Yeah.
If the player chooses to go off the beaten path, then
there should be something there to
explore
find,
and something to discover, and might be completely irrelevant to what you're doing right now, but it might be relevant.
And it does add depth to the world and the story, regardless, even if it feels like not part of the puzzle you're working on.
Absolutely. Just like in real life, there are very few places you go to where there are nothing. There are always something to explore, somebody to talk to,
some secrets to discover.
Always.
Yes. Well, so what specifically this means in Dreamfall Chapters is, there is a linear narrative, of course. It's a linear story.
Yes.
But at certain points, the game opens up and it slows down and it lets you decide when to progress.
Yeah, we will communicate to the player that the next point in the story is somewhere, and that should be very clear. But we should also communicate that at this point you're free to do whatever you want, tons of things to explore. When you're ready to progress, then you know what you need to do in order to progress the story. But that shouldn't rush the player.
Yeah,
we should tell them that you have all the time in the world. Relax. Enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Enjoy the world.
Enjoy the world. Immerse in the world. But sometimes it's also that maybe the narrative requires several things to be accomplished, and then we're giving players some non-linearity. They can do those tasks, those missions in any order.
Absolutely. I think that can be a quite interesting experience when we say that we want the player to reach a goal. But there are many ways to get there, and might be several ways to get there, and you need to sort of complete many different things in order to get there. And I think giving that choice to the player can be quite interesting, because the player can focus on what he or she likes to do, and then you fulfill certain criteria, and then you can
move on. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at one particular scene inside one space, Europolis.
Yes.
Europolis consists of one bigger space and then other locations attached to that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we see the footage. But here Zoe has to basically, in order to accomplish something, do a number of tasks in order to progress.
She's investigating something at one of these dream factories, but it's closed and she needs to find her way in. Alright, so here we are in Europolis. It's a huge space. And Zoe has gotten lots of different clues, but we've chosen to follow one particular path. It's a clue about Seshadri Industries and one of their dream factories. So we're here now and approaching the door. As we're trying to open it, we're told that it's locked, but you can hear voices from the inside. So apparently somebody is here. They just don't want you inside. So how can we get in? Well, it's time to look at the scene. What do we have to work with here? First of all, there's a parked car here with the lights on. That triggers my suspicion. If we look inside the window, we're told that the windows are tainted and the door is locked. So what else do we have here? We have a huge spider mech that's being repaired by these maintenance robots. Okay, that seems somewhat unusual, but what else? We have a vending machine that I can interact with. So if I just take a step back here and look at all these elements, remember that everything in this world is connected through the wire, through this network. And I can tell you that everything the player needs to get into Seshadri Industries is right here. The player just needs to figure out how. I'm not going to tell you that, but good luck. So Europolis is a huge city, and this tiny corner that we've looked at now is just a fraction of it. It's important to remember that not everything is a puzzle in this game. You can walk around in the streets, meet interesting characters, pick up new pieces of lore, and just sort of exploring and experiencing the city. Not everything is about the puzzles. And when you do, the best way of getting around town is, of course, the metro.
Oh, hi there. My name is Dag Skjeve and I'm one of the writers on Dreamfall Chapters. You caught me at a very good time here. I'm just now sitting down to start writing the dialogue for the second playable character of the game. His name is Kian Alvane. An apostle of the faith, a holy assassin in Dreamfall. At the end of that game, he was arrested by his own people for acts of treason, and then he was sent to Mercuria, to Friar's Keep, a prison there, to await execution. And that's where we join him in Dreamfall Chapters.